Who Ditholong section? That's all. Yeah.
How was it?
Yeah, the village is called Letebejane. I'm living in the section called Ditholong. Yeah, so currently, so many things already are happening in Limpopo, my king. So, we experience some parts of Limpopo, the wildfire, somewhere over the natural disasters like the floods and over the, hails. Recently, we had incident ya hail. But it's fako ka spedi. Small ngore si senyeditse batho ba bantsho, understand? So yeah, so my king, I put God first because growing up I've been through so many things. They pushed me to like they made me to gravitate towards Modimo and spirituality. I'm not that person who's religious actually. I don't believe in
Standing steady chilling in a bendo with the same bros who say the same things that my rents won't. Look, caught a lot of smoke from the rivals, but I can't choke. Got the same look on my face since I was broke. Check 2024, Jehovah is getting big though. I'm in the same image, so the chief is getting big too. They look for me, I'm big news. Shout out to this man's too. Podcast down, steady chilling in a bendo.
Yeah, it's your boy Sunny Boy KM Tagatin 969 and I got my day one nigga.
Yo, this is your boy TG Top Dog of the Great. I can learn that.
Itang. This is my piano hip hop news podcast. My jita pon. Nino la repa. Ikamo. Reta piano. Kamo.
Yo. Tune in.
I'm working.
Dango.
Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, I'm working.
Welcome back to another episode of our Piano and Hip Hop News Podcast. This is your boy Sunny Boy KM Tagati 969, and today, guys, we have a special Kgaogelo special, so for special moment. So without wasting any time, demand jogel lozinchi. We are lozinchi. As much we are music, like activist, poet, pona, that's all city. The musician. So without wasting any time, Jokoplo was about our
yeah, man. Guys. This is Kamas Joedy, born MASEMOLA KGAOGELO. I originate from Limpopo. So I'm a poet, I'm a musician, I'm a writer, and I'm an activist, whereby I'm dealing with so many things in terms of socialism, in terms of entertainment, and in terms of creative arts.
Sure.
The whole writer or a writer, a songwriter or writer in movie.
I'm a writer of music to begin with because that's what mostly I'm known for. Even though there are other things still on the side. I write songs. I write poetry, poems. I also write short stories. Whereby also you can regard me as a author because currently I'm busy with a poetry book. It's based in my mother tongue, which is Shody. Sure. Yeah, so I'm currently busy with those kind of things. Yeah,
and then how difficult to root or pila babla kan cause normal so mangara ukisi
yeah
marka speed ke sepala batho ba balang bible ka speed ba ukisi so phala batho ba bala
ka sekgo. Yeah, that's why le ge ke bala the article in on the internet, there's an option on Chrome whereby you have to translate, so automatically I set it to translation to Northern Sotho, which is Sepedi. Yeah, so like most of the things when I consume them in my language, they stick to mind than when I listen in English. I can listen to something and understand it for the moment, but right after listening to it, days later, I get to forget somewhere some of the concepts or yeah. But when it's in my language, it sticks forever.
Sure. In my mind. So you work on your language because it's a local school. Why one?
Sure, my king.
Oh, where are you originally from?
I originate from a village called Letebejane in Limpopo Province. Yeah, sure. That's where
Shout out to Limpopo. Shout out to all Limpopo.
Shout out to my hood, Ditholong section. That's all.
How was it growing up in Limpopo?
I would say I was born and bred in Limpopo, my king. I was born and bred in Limpopo. Growing up, there were challenges, but I would say my childhood was kind of like just neutral. It wasn't bad. It wasn't that good, but overall, I would regard it as good because whatever being good or bad that I've learned, it works for me now for the good. The experience that I carry now, I use it to better the situation ahead. Yeah, in the current situation. Yeah. The village is called Letebejane. I'm living in the section called Ditholong. Yeah, so. Currently, so many things still already are happening in Limpopo, my king. So, we're not experience some parts of Limpopo, the wildfire, somewhere over the natural disasters like the floods and over the, hails. Recently, we incident hail. But it's far, it's speed. It's more long or see señorita Batuabancho, understand? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly, my king. Those are the situations that you want, and in terms of natural disasters. But then in terms of what I'm doing, not to derail from your question, things are happening, yes, musically. We have poets, we have rappers. Yeah, we have. Exactly, we have Lecompo. We have, Ronaldo Mañalo. Yeah, we have actually a vast of genres, my king. Like even piano and so on. Even though it does not originate in Limpopo, but we carry it as a South African, But then coming from Limpopo, we have our own traditional music. We have, a lot of things. Yeah. So. Yeah. I think more is because of it's a multicultural environment. I understand. So I can say there is those kind of music, but then is it cloud or overshadow it might have a less support than from where it originates. You know what I mean? So everyone is focused on their thing because it's a multicultural or tribal environment, more than based on Joel. School, man, I finished my matric. I went to primary in Legadimane. That's where I began my schooling as a young person, a black person. So, and then I moved to Kotole, which is high school, and then I moved to Polokwane. That's where actually, I furthered my studies to do IT, tourism, finances there and there, and security and other vast of qualifications that I possess. You understand? Yeah, man. Bro, I don't know what to call myself, but I like education. Not in a form of institute in schooling like buildings and stuff. I learn everywhere I go. You know what I mean? I came across Batuaba and Chibalor. They come from different cultures, different institutes of life. Can be school street, like reading books, tribes, komishate, like the royal houses. I've met a couple of kings and chiefs and indunas teaching me about this and that, about who we really are, and then what should we be doing, how should we be raised as black people, versus the current situation, how we get raised. And
contributes to who you are today.
Yeah,
because knowing who you are, where you come from.
Sure, my king. A huge role, sure, a huge role, my king. So, but then where I studied in Polokwane, where I did exactly what I told you recently now. Then getting into the series of PLK, I furthered my music also because
PLK meaning Polokwane.
Coming from home, going to Polokwane to further my studies, I was already like a writer of music, and even though I wasn't that much perfect, but then I had that basic of writing and composition of music. We didn't have studios, we didn't have equipment or capital to escalate everything. I understand. So, but getting to PLK, the first thing that I looked for, even though the plan was to go to school, I seeked for a studio. Yeah, before getting to the college to enroll, the first thing I looked for was studio, and then I found it immediately. Finding the studio, I seeked for an institute. I went to a college, and then I enrolled. Then coming back, I already knew where the studio was. Then I was like, after classes, then I would go to studio and start doing my things over. So yeah.
So when you go for bafana ba le ro bana ba le ro ba tsena sekolo ko Polokwane
what I would like for what already they are schooling in Polokwane, and not specifically Polokwane only, but generally across the globe. I understand whoever is watching this. So what they should do, they should focus on what they want, not what they just picked along the way. To say, you know what, I'm doing this to pass time. Life is not about passing time. It's all about, you know what, putting the effort in, because our time is limited in this world, my king. So you need to put your energy and focus and dedication into what really it's vital in the ecosystem. Understand? So focus in your studies. Make sure if that's what you like, do it. Because if you do something that you don't like, if you fail at it, you'll just drop it. So you find the remote has been there to college about 5 years, 10 years. All the people that he or she started with already they accomplished or they finished their studies. So and then when you still changing subjects, courses, and 1, 2, 3. So focus on what you like. Do what you like. You'll never work in a day. Never in your life, like in a day, you'll never work, because
what you love what you do.
Exactly. So this is why I you know, master what I do. That's why I progress in what I do, even though it's gradual. I don't rush things, you know what I mean. Sometimes things are out of our control, out of our power, and God plays a role. Some things you can plan, but wake up in the morning. Okay, let's say maybe you can wake up in the morning they sleep thinking, or tomorrow you want to do something like this, but then something happens tomorrow and then you postpone, you know what I mean. So we need to acknowledge God also in what we do. Whatever you do, always include God in, so that He can open ways for you. Because if somehow we neglect and then try to act like God does not exist in the picture, somewhere He'll try to, you know, show you that I am the Messiah. So by somehow, you know, dribbling you, and then you get to ask yourself question, why am I not winning at this game? And you know,
because going to sleep is easy, man. Waking up, it's His will.
It's His will, bruh. It's His will. We die every day. Like when you're sleeping, you don't know what is happening, but you wake up to surprise, or even I'm kicking, you know, I'm breathing, bruh. Yeah. Except that's what I do. My music is about that. If you listen to my music, bro, like online or wherever, but you get my music, you know. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure, my king. I put God first, because growing up, I've been through so many things. They pushed me to you know, like, yeah, they made me to gravitate towards Modimo and spirituality. I'm not that person who's religious. Actually, I don't believe in religions in that sense, but I'm spiritual, because the spirit never lies. But the religion is just more like of a, not exactly, but more of a cult. You know, some people use religion to accumulate whatever they possess currently, or they exactly, my king. Bro, why one Bible, different churches? Why? Because of greed, because of whatever ambitions and personal gains that people have intentions about, you know what I mean. So that is the thing. But then with spirituality, it's like if you move out of church, you went to a priest or a prophet, and they predict or they tell you about your current situation, and then you move from church to traditional healers, dingaka, because they use spirit, they will still tell you the same information. Spirituality is intact, is in line, is just one thing, but religions are different. Exactly, bro. That's why there is Quran, there is Bible, there is this and that, and you never know who to follow. But then why? The question is, why one book? Okay, if we match Quran and Bible, they're all about goodness at some stage. I understand. But then why different congregations and uniforms? Why? Why someone has to call themselves, I'm an apostle, I'm a what. But at the end of the day, say God. Why? Okay, the diversity, yes, makes it beautiful because of 1, 2, 3 and that. But then in terms of, how do I put it? In terms of, okay, reliance, we rely on the same Bible. But then different religions, how? If the instructions come from the same menu.
Same higher percent.
From the same menu, bro. Same message, different languages, okay. Same oral equal story, equivalent to one religion, one uniform, one belief. But then if you come up with your own uniform now, you're trying to enter a different space of whatever religion, then it becomes a problem. Like, who are you? You're going to tamper with our, Show my key. Yeah, bro. Show my key.
When did you first start making music?
Bro, how do I say?
If you remember.
Like recording or composing music. I was young, bro. Like, I was very, very young because I was raised in Christianity. I would compose my own songs.
Sure.
Before starting being a rapper, being an R&B singer or whatever, I would sing gospel songs, create my own tunes. Understand? And then I will, because like Mogojongwana is near the mountains, like mountains and stuff. So I would gather and then we go to that portion of the mountain. Then I'll be on the peak, like the apex. When they become on the lower part, then I'll be, the singer, and then give the message and sing, talk to them. I don't know what gave me that idea, but then that's what I did before I could grow up to realize no, there's something about.
What gave you that idea?
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. That's why I say you must invite God, because what I've been told growing up is even relying on religions, yes, okay, or scriptures. They say God chose us and God knew us before we even existed. So I would say the path that I'm walking in or on, it was intended, it was planned. You know what I mean? It was planned already. The way the way it's been paved. Now I'm just living. I'm just waking up to live. Even though how do I put it? But I'm just living, bro. I'm just living. I don't wanna add too much spice to it. But then the point is, I'm going with the flow like a dead fish. Just whatever that is meant to be, I'll just see it on the way. I was young. I would say Agare. It was before I even attended primary. It was before I attended primary. Because when I attended primary, I didn't have much chance to do those kind of things because I was always in school, coming from school. Having to help at home with the chores or whatever, there and there. It's already late. Maybe we knock off at 1. When you arrive at home, it's 3 already. You don't have that much chance to go out and do other things. And then when you go out to play, it's only when you play soccer. I grew up playing soccer. It's only from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. To 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And then it's already late. You have to go home. So you don't have much time to do those kind of things. You know what I mean? But then all those things that I'm talking about prior, or it was when I didn't go to school by the time. So I was still young, like at home. Remember back then, some areas, they didn't have what we call the preschools and crèche. So kids grew up with their grandmothers and cousins. We had much time to play and become innovative on whatever,
Okay. So who inspired you to pursue this music dream?
When I first, how do I put it? A lot of people, but then I'll say the first person that, musically, in terms of genre, just music generally.
Like music?
Sure. But I grew up hearing a lot of music. Not listening, but hearing a lot of music. Because when you're young, they just play whatever they play at home. So some of the songs, they play a lot of times on radio, and then you get to memorize them. And then I would say, back then this music go too much on the radio, and then I was still young by the time. I would say, but we also na lebo all saying shopping, gospel music. That's the kind of music that they used to play at home, you know. And then as I, you know, grew to more encounter the R&B songs through my cousins. Some they gave me CDs which I didn't even understand the music because of the language barrier. But then I fell in love with the tunes and the beats as I get used to the music. So the first music I listened to that I loved, actually, apart from just hearing music, but the one that I intentionally listened to was R&B. It was by the era of R. Kelly there. And then so he got features in his album TB2.com, something like that. Yeah. So he featured some of these guys, I don't remember their names, on that song called To the Homies We Lost. So I was used to singing, but those guys were rapping. So I asked myself, for what kind of singing is this? Like, so I fell in love with that kind of that pattern of singing or whatever, yeah. And then it's called rap, right? And then came Ja Rule with hip-hop, R&B. Then I started to follow the pattern of that singing, which is rap. And then I fell in love with hip-hop from, you know, R&B. Yeah, listen, yeah, with that peak, yeah, sure. So I'm confused as to whether I should say the first person I've really felt in love with is Ja Rule or Tupac, because in the mix of that, some of the people around me were playing Tupac, some were playing Ja Rule and all that. So I knew Ja Rule first also. I would say I knew Ja Rule first, but I wouldn't say I really loved him that much. It was just that thing I picked it from R&B, but then now I know well that I really loved his music. I still love his music, and then I also follow the Transja, Tupac, and other rappers with DMX, and I picked it from the boom bap hip hop to the current kind of hip hop, you know. Yeah, so because it's radical, it's revolutionary, it's It was an instrument of poetry and politics. They didn't have platform, remember? 100. We didn't have, as blacks, we didn't have a platform to address our issues. Understand? So as innovative as you know that we are as black people, hence you know 90 something percent of the world's genres of music was created by black people. Yeah, so it stems from there, my brother. It stems from there. So hip hop, boom bap is the real hip hop, you know. Even though hip hop is culture. I don't know if I'm going to be, you know.
Kendrick is doing real hip hop. This one is doing modern hip hop.
They are all classified to be hip hop, yes. But if I check very well, my king, in terms of lyrics, I'll applaud Kendrick, and also still I'll applaud Drake, depending what is the subject on whatever song. So Kendrick is deeply poetic. If you don't understand English and poetry deeply, you might not follow him. And then his type of beats, it's a fusion of boom bap and the current style and there. You know what I mean? So to me, I'll pick them both. Depending on my mood at that time. When the moment you want to listen to soulful sounds, that's when you go Kendrick. Go Drake, because Drake is soulful. We play some R&B's like singing, you know what I mean. And then Drake is strictly poetic. His flow, I wouldn't regard it as like deep rap. In a level of poetry, like you understand the flow, poetry. Like it's he's reciting poem every time he trying to flow. To me, I'm not saying generally everyone must think like that, but to me, to me he's poetic. I understand. He's a poet. I understand. He's got that poetic flow. than strictly rap. Even though rap is the rhythm and poetry, but we're talking about the core poetry. You know what I mean? So to me, yeah, I'll pick them both.
So
To
rapper no tsentse rhyme. Cause get rhyme and poetry.
rhyme, rhythm. Rhythm. The rhyming is the same. We write the same, we deliver the same kind of message. Now I can talk about my mama in a song.
Yeah.
And then somebody writes a poem recited about their mother or whoever or whatever subject matter, love or what. But then at the end of the day, the message is one, the deliverance is different. Someone is giving a speech motivational, someone is doing a poem, someone is making a song. So, but then we convey the same message out there.
So between one of the two, who in them? Pick one. It is a pick one.
Hey, King. I think Kendrick ambushed Drake. I believed it was just a record battle to me. No, I don't think it was that personal. It was a record battle whereby
That's why he ambushed Drake.
yeah, because I think Drake had to wait for Kendrick had to wait for Drake to respond. But before Drake could respond, already Kendrick had about 1 million songs released. So I don't know what was he planning. It was building a wall, or he was, hey, don't come at me, dog. So that whenever you write, you get confused because, bruh, like, I don't know how to put it, but he was ambushed to me. And it was historical. Remember, somewhere, Drake always, when they diss him, they go to a racial and tribal issue. You understand? Yeah. So that is the case. And yeah, it wasn't. Then Kendrick took it too personal, according to me.
He took it too far.
Yo, bro. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, shout out to all of them, bro. Yeah. 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 Defense.
Yeah, defense, but blame Kendrick. Alright, kill Kendrick or yeah. So more high popular Satian Daim cause Hotoman flow.
Yeah.
It's a positively looks negative, but mostly high shit looks negative. You see what happens to the cross.
Bro.
The cross na you perform Makukana, the player
Drake. But it stems far from even music, because like Nike
yeah.
That is this. That is beef.
That's
It comes from if we Mara, even though it's a great tool to sharpen your thinking and your creativity in terms of lyricism, it creates competition, and in a way by now I don't believe in competitions. They cause tensions, what I mean. When I was still doing music in Polokwane, we were like having competitions, Jamunispan. You know what I mean? I would win a lot of times, and there would be a time where I would sit down and look at people sad because they lost a lot to me. You know what I mean? But then because I'm that soulful person, I'm that spiritual and loving person, I'd spend my money with them. Yeah, just after winning, we go out shopping. And we go to the restaurants. Sure. We chow the money, and I buy myself a couple of shoes or sneakers. Yeah.
And Joe, how many songs do you have?
I don't know how many, but they are over 30 now. Like the singles, bro. Like let's say the first LP is 8 songs, the EP is 3, and then singing this one. Yeah, but then other songs I just put them. Yeah.
Can you go the story behind that song?
Yo! Oh, you talking about My Mama, My Hero or what? Because yeah, man. The song, bruh. The song stems from Dabayagore. I was raised by her. I didn't really know my father growing up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I didn't really know my father. I grew up in his absence. He was absent. The only people I saw around me were women. It was my grandmother, it was my mother, it was my aunts, my neighbors. Most of them get a ladies. See? So I grew up around ladies, and females, I can say. What I'm. The boys were there, but it was just there, all alone. But I was young to me because I had food. It didn't touch me that much. I think the issue of absence of fathers, it affects people about they're in deep struggles. Because now I was surrounded. My neighbors, my brother, we shared everything. My neighbors to this day, there are moments. I wish we can have that unity again, because I would leave my house to their house. I eat there. They will leave their house to come to my house and we eat. To me, their sister. I don't have a sister. I don't have a sister. It's only me and my younger. You understand? Yeah. So, but the issue is growing with those people. It taught me a lot about understanding women and where to argue and not to argue, because women how they are. Sure. So it taught me about unity between two genders. Yeah, how should we treat each other and all that. So yeah, for me to do that song is because I was grateful of the things that happened when I was with her. I remember there was the time I don't know where she was going to. She was with her friend, and then it was during the era, the ending of apartheid, somewhere around the 90s. And so it was night, and then we saw this lot of cars coming. I got the protection, their protection. They hit me somewhere in what the meanders or whatever that. Yeah, so remembering those stories, sometimes I become grateful because of the Joedy, those kind of events. I went to school in the absence of my father, who was providing. It was her, even though she had no choice, just because she's a mother. But then, besides the point there, she had no choice. It's a must that she had to look after me, irrespective of the circumstances. That's the reason why I had to write that song. But it wasn't specifically that song about my mom's, if I have to be real, because now I'm answering into question why did I have to write that for my mother. But then I didn't really direct it strictly to my mother. It was just for mothers. When I wrote it, it was with the mentality of let me write this for the mothers. So because I believe they relate to the stories that I wrote in that song. Understand? Even though now I wrote it the perspective for mothers, and then also some parts of that song they're personal about my life, and then some of the things is just generally to thank the mothers out there. So it stems from there. I had to write that song for the ladies, for the mothers, for even if you don't have a kid, your own biological kid, you are a mother. As long as you're a woman, you're a mother in making. Yeah. When I was child. Get the community. Yeah. 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 That's how we grew up in the rural, and then some of the people they still practice that. You understand? You need to understand because tomorrow I have to terrorize a community, I have to terrorize his or her household only. It will be the whole village. So yeah. The village. You saw the village. Yeah. So you're so king. Mothers raised us, my king. It was for the mothers generally. My grandmother was there because my mother was working full time. She didn't have much time to raise me in that sense because of when she was working, I was always with my grandmother and my neighbors. Because like I was already in back then, even the current situation, was already the situation of fathers are always out to look for jobs and provide for the family, so we are always remaining with the females. So even the neighbors, the fathers were not there, it was only the women. So we were the youngins who got raised by those people. So whenever I went wrong, bro. Sure. So, yeah.
So Joe, how many songs how many songs did you write for other artists?
I wrote for, I would say, how many? Let me see, about 6 artists that now I think of. Yeah, you know, there's a crew that I formed when I arrived in Polokwane, that I wrote some songs for. You know what I mean? They were individual, they were independent artists, like, you know. So, but then getting to know each other, and then recording in the same studio. Every time I would go to studio, I would meet new artists that recorded in that studio that I recorded in, and they would want to feature me somewhere, and then I would write their hooks. Mostly I wrote their hooks. Some I wrote their verses, but then mostly I would write their hooks. You know what I mean? So it's the likes of Bo Rhino, Two Dog, Bo RMC, the Rural Dogs, the Ramstars. There are a lot of them. I met Bobo Mopedi, even though Mopedi I didn't write anything for, but there are a lot of people that I met in Polokwane, and then in other places, so outside the Polokwane.
So besides besides those who you wrote for, how many artists and producers did you work with in Limpopo?
In Limpopo, I worked with Mpo, but the main man that I worked with full time was Lazi.
Sure.
Yeah, Lazi is the one actually who did most of my songs. And then I also worked with C-Class Music. The first person that I worked with, it was C-Class. But then unfortunately, before we could materialize a lot of projects, and the guy passed on. And then that's when I met Lazi. Yeah, rest in peace to C-Class Music. Class, we miss you, my bro. Then I met Lazi. Lazi is the one who did a lot of my boom bap sound. And then I met Mpo. And then Mpo also, somehow I left Polokwane. And then ever since, I've been meeting them part-time, not full-time. So then I ventured into many things from there.
Talking about the people that you worked with, I saw
yeah, the crews that I worked with, like I was saying earlier. Yeah, those are the guys that I met. They were individuals actually. Some of them were like duos. Yeah, so but then we formed this thing called Sinna. Yeah, Sinna. We did in self introspection, or checked our lives and realized, or we were youngings, we did a lot of mistakes, and then that's why we ended calling ourselves Sinna, because we sin always, we do wrong, so understand. But then does not mean we want to persist, we want to go on with that. So we called ourselves Sinna, so that people can understand that when we do wrong, they need to put us down and then talk to us. That's why you see the message in the music talks about unity, love. So when you love me, you cannot neglect me. Like we were saying about mothers, when someone is wronging, then we need to put them in line. So that's why we came up with that name. Yeah, Sinna. It was me, it was Two Dog, it was T-Love, this lady called T-Love, it was Baby Bro. So we formed that crew, and then others also we established some sub groups. It was with RMC, it was with Leni, it was with Pulse, rest in peace to Pulse, he passed on, that nigga. It was with Rural Dogs from Tefloop. It was with the Ramstars from Solomon Dale in Limpopo also. So I worked with those cats, my man, and I still miss the moments. Like we created a lot of sounds, and man, it was crazy always in the studio, bro. Yeah, like hey man, you're taking me back to my younger days, man. Like yeah, it was a journey, bro. Yeah.
So who's your favorite producer in Limpopo?
My favorite producer will always be Lazi, bro. Lazi, shout outs to you, my king. Shout outs to you. Man, that guy is versatile. He's still pushing. He can compose any genre.
What?
He can compose any genre, that guy. And he makes sounds from scratch. He
doesn't use
he's good at sampling, he's good at creating his own sound, he's good at making beat instantly. You come to studio, you have your own tune, sound, composition, whatever, chorus, verse. Most of the times I would go to studio only with verses. Yeah, then he create beat from my raps, not my chorus tunes. So he listened to the way I flow, and then he make beat out of that instantly, and then he mastered the song right away, and then I also record same time. Most of my choruses, I compose them in studio. I don't come from home with a chorus. I come with a verse. Mostly it works like that, but I come with a verse.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Sure. Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly. And most people struggle with composing choruses, and then the simplest method of composing a chorus is just a repetition of whatever tune you created. If I can say now, I love you repeatedly, it's chorus.
You but to learn.
Repeatedly, you know what I mean. So it became. My melody has just recently came, and I met 2 popular cats around here that I've checked. I can say 3. Sure. One is a lady. Yeah, I met this guy, Lord Porter.
Oh, Lord Porter,
yeah. I met Lord Porter.
Yo, bro.
Yeah, shout out to you, King.
Yeah.
You.
Actually, you and Lord Porter should do something.
We materializing on something.
Yeah.
We materializing on something in terms of music, in terms of
Very, very, very
gigs, in terms of so forth. I understand. And then I met this guy Fizzy.
Sure.
Fizzy, and also I met the lady. She's always hanging out with Porter.
Duchess.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chakrahan. You know.
People,
those are cool souls, bro. Like they're the first people that absorbed me when I came in my melody. Not to speak ill of other people, but I will understand, or when you don't know people, it's not easy to absorb them, you know. Now I reach out to them, most of them, because I like that unity. Like I was saying, I created a lot of crews, and so he's the first guy to say, yo, I feel you, bro. Can we meet? And we meet.
Sure.
We talk. He listened to my music, I listen to his. Then we shake hands now, like, yo, bro, this is it. Let's start working. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's diamond.
Sure. Yeah, shout out to you, bro, once more.
Yeah. You met collaboration.
Yeah.
Sure. So, who do you wish to make a song with in South Africa, and why? One person.
Sure.
We're more famous.
Or the popular artists, like well established. I wasn't that much into trap, but this guy, but the guy made me fall in love with the new kind of hip hop. Yeah. MT. I listen to all, not because I picked him, does not mean I don't like other artists, but I like him I love him, I can say, in terms of so many things. His flow, sing along music. His music is easy to sing along with. Yeah, and then one thing that I really respect him about is his lyricism. He's simple in his utterances. He calls spade. He says things in simple way, people to understand. Simplicity is the best, so that's why I fell in love with his music. If you listen to my music, also I'm in that channel. I don't use deep, figure of speeches. I just simply use my simple metaphors. Sometimes I'm direct into what I utter, and that's it.
That's how people will embrace you, because we're simple.
Exactly. So that's why I can rate him higher.
And how do you feel about his latest?
Yeah, I've been listening to the song, and I've been listening to the album. Yeah, even though I didn't memorize some of the songs, but there's this, yeah, sure. Hey, bro. Yeah, there's this song that he's talking about. My girl goes straight to it, or something like that. Yeah, that song. I forgot the name of the song, but yeah, that song. I listened to the whole album, but that song it is for me. Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to MT. Keep working, bro.
Keep shining, bro. I would like to work with you one day, bro. If you get to hear and see this, hit me up, bro. Hit me up. Sure, yeah. Currently, there are a lot of artists, but the first person to honor hip hop, I would like to work with Ja Rule.
50 is gonna be mad at you, Joe. 50 Cent is gonna be
People are always mad.
Yeah.
People are always mad. It's not a matter of 50 versus Jarul versus 50. People have been there, mad at each other. Look at what happened to Park and
Jaru was
Biggie.
there before 50, yeah?
Jarul came before 50. Jarul bloomed before 50.
Yeah, that's what I know.
And the hypocrisy of music, bro. People will always talk because if you check the situation between Ja Rule and 50 Cent, Ja Rule has been mocked for his singing, rapping kind of 50 sings. Go and listen to his music. 50 sings. 50 sings. He jacked Ja style according to how you can go and make research about their beef and their music.
Rap, yeah, Jaru.
Jarul is a rapper, not because he fused. Not because Jarul came up with he fused his music with the melodical harmony, whatever style. Jarul, if you listen to his former songs when he was still with Cash Money Click, you know that he was strictly doing underground boom bap, old school hip hop. You understand? So whereby because his voice is grimy and all that, and people confused him with DMX. There was beef between him and DMX that he's grabbing DMX style, but they were in the same crew and all that, and they were being produced by the same producer, Irv Gotti. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah. So it became that battle. Leore Jarul proved the industry and the universe generally that actually I'm a musician. I'm a versatile musician. That's when he jumped from that Grammy style of strictly rapping into mixing with that melodic thing and featuring ladies, and then everyone started mocking him like, yo, you are a pop singer, bro, and all that. So but he was trying to prove a point to people that I'm not stealing anyone's style. I'm versatile. I can do anything. Ja is dope, bro. Let's be honest. Yeah, Ja is dope. Yeah, Ja is dope, and he's poetic. Even though, you know, somewhere he wanted. If you listen to his interviews, he wanted to do something different from what we know him for. But then because of the record deal that he signed, he was instructed to do this and that. To understand, Ja is one of those niggas who's political. Actually, if you listen to his music, he's political, and then yeah, he's revolutionary. Get the labels. You know, when you sign a contract, there's a mandate. There's a mandate, bro. Yeah, we specialize in this. You don't go off track. Be on the rail, bro. Sure, that is the thing, yeah.
Sure. So Joe, let me ask you this question: how do you feel about SA hip hop?
SA hip hop is dope, and hip hop is hip hop, bro. What I feel about hip hop in South Africa is that we always want to fuse hip hop, and then we fuse it to a point of dilution. We end up diluting it. There are those niggas who rap over Kwaito beats, piano beats, and whatever beats, understand, and then come to us and say this is hip hop. Let's be honest, you are rapping over something else which is not really hip hop, understand. So just because you rapped over Kwaito beat does not make it really hip hop. It's just hip hop papa, like we say hip hop R&B, hip hop what. That is just hip hop what, but it's not strictly hip hop. Understand? So there is those who do strictly hip hop, or like the underground guys, while longer they've been doing the old school hip hop. No, speaking of South African hip hop, I will speak of what was on the level Proverb. We'll speak of but was on a level. Zola has been calling himself quite a star, but if you listen to the sound, trust me, that is hip hop. Now retla laga the kazi rap is pumpe yes retla laga bozakwe retla laga bo understand that crew ya Deben and relebo Mags.
Rest in peace,
Pro Kid has been doing it. There are a lot of kids, my king. Renalebo to like I said, Mags. Renalebo this guy Dallas, yeah. Nalebo AKA when he was still NTT. RIP to you, you know what I mean. Renalebo, Casper, they doing strictly hip hop. Even though somewhere he does the piano and but then
hip
It's strictly. There is this album called Solomon. Yeah, there is boom bap. If you listen to the whole album,
Sure.
it has got a boom bap elements. Yeah. Matlera, I do listen there and then 1, 2, 3, rap, but then, like I was saying, it's fused. It's not raw hip hop. The more they fuse it, because the problem I agree, most artists, they come in the game with the mindset and intention of wanting to be accepted in the society. Because remember, majority of South Africans, they don't put hip hop first. So for you to be relevant and then be accepted in the society, you have to fuse level, rap over those kind of beats. You know, that becomes something else. Strictly what we call hip hop. Hip hop rap, it's boom bap. Even though it elevated the ability to rap soul and want to drama. Let's be clear and honest. Yeah, exactly. That is what hip hop is.
Sure. So what do you want to contribute in SAB hip hop?
I wouldn't want to change the sound because there is evolution. You know what I mean, in everything. But I would like for people to stick to education, bro. Let's not misinform people. Let's not derail kids from the right path. About smoking drugs, drinking too much, going all out naked. Because you know, a lot of these kids now, the fashion, it leads to people, you know, to doing things they were not intending to. You know what I mean? Some end up getting, end up getting raped. There are psychos out there. Yeah, because exactly. Yeah. Sure, that is exactly. You are tempting people. You are attracting the energy. Tomorrow, end up blame about why as I try. You cannot throw a worm on a hook in the ocean or in the sea and expect the fish to. You know what I mean? Some things will lure people. People to come to that angle, and when they perpetuate what we manufactured, and then start over surprise to say like, hey, why this? Even though we know naturally human beings, they don't have clothing. We are born naked, but we created this thing to avoid this kind of things. Or no, people shouldn't rape others. Some will call it rape. Yeah, you don't even have to say anything. Their family, they will go out seeking for her, and then if they find her in your house, and it's okay, fine. Now she's Magodi. So that way it's fine. But I still think also you can say right, somewhere out of your will is not fine, because we're now really calabash. We are to fetch water. This guy now, we will say it going or it's kidnapping or whatever. They human traffic you, and then you become Magodi that side. To them it's normal. Mara, if you are a being all along, or you are not exposed to that, image or you know, you become confused to say like, why this? And then when you grow up to realize, or this is not the kind of man I want in my life. Already a lot has happened. So now you want to find that freedom. How do you find that freedom? The keys and the history is still dragging you back. So out of your will is something else. But then coming to the issue, and the tribes. Now I'll say if we get to negotiate, because like now in my culture, small baby, we negotiate like ngwana malome ngwana ragadi or maki moagishane. We sit down like mkhotse ke bona ka re kharbe ya gago ka re ke na le ngwana le sogana, how about 1 2 3. That's how it used to be, but nowadays I get ra ipolelele, and so many things they fade. So negotiation ya batho ba bagolo, it was proper, because in a bloodline inside, so it's not easy to harm ngwana wa malome yago, it's not easy to harm ngwana wa rakgadi wa. So now we do everything ourselves. That's where we fail. And I'm not saying I condone.
No, now emphasizing when they say jump.
Sure.
But I think it was a way. It was a way.
It was a way, bruh. That's why before ngwana malome ngwana rakgadi nyale di khomo di wele shakeng. Welfare na no phatlaletsa re sa ratana for who we are. It's only for me to benefit. We accumulate whatever we accumulate and we hit the road. Bro, but King, but if it's my cousin ke ngwana wa rakgadi or ke ngwana wa malome, if I'm taking out 100K out of my pocket and then she takes that money to renovate maybe to put tile or whatever, it's not a waste, because mama wa ke rakgadi wa ke sister ya my father, so she's still renovating our house, because I can jump anytime and sleep over. I can jump anytime, eat over. I can jump. If she buys cattle that side, or they're going to kill it eventually, I'm going to eat it. That is investment. So, but if it's someone from wherever by, do you understand? When they live with everything. That's why you find men nowadays not willing to marry. Some they go out battling for the prenup. Whoa, boo, 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 boo. So it's no longer about solidness of some sort, and it's all about business nowadays.
So it's business, Dangi. You said
it's business.
Because
South Africa msadi anyalo haitu mara nowadays anchecha magadi 10 times and boo 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 boo. Now anchecha mtu magadi immediately urka corner, the next nigga come through. He triples you. Then you start to go all out, hey ha ha. When you divorce, that's where you share wealth. Fuck it. So what? We roll like that. Sure, man.
So, what was it like to make Melting Eyes?
Melting Eyes. Melting Eyes. It was fun, bruh. I made Melting Eyes to edge Batu, Colorado.
Sure.
Let's not make each other cry, because the spelling you saw it or how it goes, right? It's not melting ice like ice froze water. It's melting as melting, but the eyes of the eye, like the sight organs. So that is about pain, the struggles that people face. If you listen to the song Money Effect, it preaches about the things that we spoke about, is some of the things that we spoke about already.
Sure.
That there are ladies balong, or they come from broken homes, they'll just go out to look for money, not relationship. Some fall pregnant in the process because they date those or whoever they don't love for the sake, or my stomach is empty, I want to fill it up. In the process they fall pregnant, they get trapped, some they abort. There are a lot of things happening. Some guys grew up in the broken families, the structure is not solid.
Sure.
They go all out to start being criminals, you know. They live the street life now. So Melting Eyes to me was fun, because I had a huge support from my homies. I preached about love. It's all about my personal life and other people's lives, you know, the experiences that I've you know, witnessed, being in my personal or other people's experiences. So it was fun, and I still thank Lazi for paving a way for me in terms of experience or record in studio, because when I first went to studio recording with Lazi, I recorded 3 songs in a day.
3 songs in a day?
Yeah, in my first experience. It was 3 songs in a day. It was Shody Was Your Name, it was Material Love, and it was that song, It's So Hard. Yeah, so it was fun, but it was my first experience, and I had joy because hearing myself in the headsets, bro, like the phones, the finished product. Yeah. Sure. And to my surprise, I was not off tempo. It's like I practiced a lot. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's good to do, because it's very rare. It's very how do I put it? You cannot expect someone who does not have that experience to perfect the recording process. You know what I'm, but I pulled it off, bro. Yeah, I put it off. And he even clapped for me. So whenever like artists would come to the studio, they need to feature someone or they need to compose a chorus, they didn't know how, he would give me a shout. Like, yo, when are you coming off class? And then I'll be like, yo, I'll be knocking off at this time. And then I hit the studio and then compose a chorus for those niggas. They give me whatever and then I get to buy myself 12,5 and eat at the room. Because like it was just all about upcoming artists. You know what I mean? Helping each other, but then they would contribute a little bit of something and then I benefit out of it, you know. I gave you the links, yeah, from the PDF. Yeah, sure, my king. Yeah, they're all on the DSS, my king. Able, this is the first one, it pays enough. If you stream my music on Able and Ditholong, my guys, I'm getting something out of it. Remember, our country is in shambles, guys. Unemployment is high, influx. We have a lot of people coming from. No hatred. Yeah. iTunes, Able, Ditholong. These are the most paying. They fall under the same company. Able, iTunes is one of the same thing, but it's different platforms. But then, YouTube Music and YouTube, they are falling under the same company. And Ditholong is the most paying. So now currently I live off my music and my side hustles. I do graphic design. I make posters for people while they do events, and yeah, so I host events from home and other. You your own album arts and everything. You saying? You make your own album arts. No. You know, in terms of production and all those things, designs and stuff, I don't want to use my own thing. I want to work with people and display their creativity out there. It's all about pushing each other. If everything is about me, to me, is that is not productive for the masses. I'm the only person who's going to benefit in the process. And then what about other people? Let me support other people as much as I expect them to support me. Because now, like I was about to say, go stream my music, blah blah blah, whereby and all that. I expect people to support me, but why not support them? You know what I mean? So I use other people to design my art covers and all that. The beats also. I can make beats, but then I prefer to use somebody's beats to make my own music. You know what I mean? So I like to work with people. Yeah, I don't use my own sounds. Like I can produce some of the songs. Yes, it's my beats, but full time I like to work with different people. You know. So but then yeah.
What led you to play it? Is it Tim Tema?
Yeah, Tim Tema. That's when I left Polokwane. Yeah, that's when I left Polokwane after finishing my studies. Had to go home. When I got home, people heard my music because back then they just knew I was just this guy dressing up hip hop way, the hip hop fashion. Yeah, the nigga, you know. Yo, man. Yeah. So, but there were those kids who were now starting to be exposed to this thing, hip hop. They came to me. Yo, bro, we heard people saying you have your own songs, man. Can you record us? I was like, yo, niggas, I know nothing about production. I've never made a beat in my life. I've never, mastered the vocals. And I only know how to write and go to the studio to record me. Someone who records me is far from here. And then they got disappointed, but they became happy that they, at least in the hood, there is someone who's representing us in terms of that culture. And then they went out to tell other guys. There's this nigga, man. Yeah. They came to my house too. Yo, man, we heard you got music. Can you record us? We want music to, like, guys. Didn't they tell you? I don't make music in that sense. I music. Yeah. So everybody, even Batwa Manyalo, musical Manyalo, yeah, my God, yeah. They came and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to a point where because I had computer at that time, I didn't know how music was made. But then some of my friends, I met them in Polokwane. They had a light about how to make music. Going back to Polokwane, because already I made family that side. Going back, it was not gonna be hard. I went to my homies because I'm done with schooling. I don't have accommodation anymore. I go chill with my niggas that I met, and they're still renting, so I had to squat in their rooms. So they taught me the basics of how to make music, and started learning how to make beats, started learning how to master vocals there and there, and then going back home because I have computer, they gave me software. I started making those beats, and then I make demo songs for them. Even though it was a work production, it was nice listening to. Was good sound to listen to, the melodic and everything. The arrangement was fine, like everything was dope, but the quality of the sound, the mastering, but the melody was dope. And so made songs with those guys, produced them. That's how I learned to produce. And then those guys, they were still in high school. Some of them now decided to go to varsity, some got jobs, and they went separate ways. And then that's how their crew broke off. Some I taught them how to make beats. Today they are best. They make beats for themselves. For me, it's all about giving. Hence, I was saying I want to support people as much as I want them to support me. So giving them that information, that knowledge, that education, it does not only ends here with me. It's something that is a legacy. Even in my absence, it will be a reference, or when they interview them to say like, how did you start? My name will always pop. You know what I mean? So yeah, it will always pop, and that's it.
So it
was.
Is it still available now?
They still exist. Some of them quit music. I don't know why, or they quit. I don't know if they quit. I just said it, but they're no longer that much active in music. Some they still, bruh. They still make beats. They still flow. They are in different spheres of life. I understand the spaces, chabona. So yeah, but then even though they haven't released projects on those streaming platforms and all that, but I think I'll teach them how to, get music online and all that, because it's young generation,
So jo couple of about for pina tsa handle tsa.
My handle, it's Joedy. It's spelled JOEDYD. You go online on Google. It will give you all the links to my music. These are iTunes, Spotify, Ditholong, YouTube, and all other, So yeah, my music is there. Please, as I was still saying earlier, subscribe to my channels, YouTube page, Spotify page, all those pages, my Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, and all others, TikTok. I'm available everywhere. I'll appreciate your support, guys. People from my hood, people from my province, country, continent, and the universe in general. Yeah. So sure, my king. That will mean a lot, my king.
So for bafana ba bane go ira poetry mantso ka bo botsa ngona
le. If you want to do poetry is not just something that you wake up and you say like, I'm going to do poetry.
Sure.
If it's a gift, it comes naturally, yes, but it also takes practice to perfect the art. But then if it's not something that it came naturally to you, you learned it through being inspired by other people, it also takes practice. So if you want to excel in this, make sure you sit down, put your thoughts to, make researches, listen to different poets. They will mold you into something. I'm what I am because I listen to a whole lot of poets and artists. You know what I mean? Take time to write, take time to research, so that you can have endless subjects, matters to address out there. Because if it's about love, anyway, that's all what you know, and you'll have a limit of subjects to addresses. Shosho Maki. Yeah.
Because I think I know more than they know.
Yeah, sure.
It's bad to follow something so it's in history.
Yeah.
So what about research?
Yeah. Exactly. Research is a whole lot of things. It's not about the issues of the incidences that are happening in whatever space of life. It's all about also knowing the rhyming scheme. It's all about knowing the tempos, because some poetry is on a cappella, on the rhythm part of it, where you play sounds and yeah. So you cannot be going there and you be off tempo. The beat is slow and you're fast. The beat is going this way, you're going this way. So make research about counting bars also when the beat transition. Yeah, exactly, bro. Everything. Research is not only about the incidents or the issues that you are going to address. It's about you, how you're going to address them. Know your timing. When the beat stops, that's where you start to go low or you go high. Learn all those things. Poetry, the music is similar thing. It's just that the difference is the making of the sounds. That's it.
What led you into poetry?
Bro, what led me into poetry? It was by the time I was still in Polokwane.
Sure.
Yeah, because actually everything, bro, started there. Like, yo.
Sure.
I would go to events, Maspala wa Polokwane. Yeah, they will invite me there with pencil. A language board. I would go to not Tswane. I'm used to Tswane because I'm pushing politics this side.
Sure.
The Polokwane, So when they host events, they will call me over, and the person who gave me a link into that is C-Class. Still, I repeat, man, rest in peace, K. So I knew those areas and those people because of that guy. So when he hosted the events at Daja, his own artists, I met some of the people Balongore, Babaraka Municipal, library gardens. We used to do some freestyle battles there. So I would sign up because there was a roll call or some application form said I will fill up, and then on the day of the events I'll go there, participate. I will participate in 3 genres or fields. It will be music, it will be poetry, and it will be storytelling. I can tell stories on stage and sit down, write my own stories, show stories. I write show stories also. So yeah, man. Look, so when I attended the events, I met this lady, Fasaha. Yeah, the lady, hey man, she's brilliant, bro.
Shout out.
Yeah, she's brilliant. When she was rhyming on stage, I felt in love with the rhyming scheme, the way she flows and everything, bruh. So I felt in love with poetry from that moment. So because of she was also a crew with this guys were poet from Polokwane. They will host Saturday sessions. I would go there and then engage with them, only to find out they also host conscious hip hop sessions, boom bap. So I would also merge the two. After time slot their poetry, then they bring out the celebration part in terms of music. They move, dance to, So that's how I felt in love with poetry. It comes from that lady. It was back in 2015, 14, somewhere there, when I discovered that lady. It was a long time ago.
So how many poems did you write?
Bro, I have over 100 poems that I wrote now, which it's manuscript. I spoke to National Library. They want to publish my book soon, so I'm still in the process of checking. Yeah, I'm still working on checking my literature, grammar, and all those things, spellings, and so it doesn't take long. It comes naturally, like I said.
So at the end of the time, since we are
I'm going to write what they call it, the memo or what?
Yeah, is it the memo?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, a memo, something like that. Your biography, self-biography. So I'm still working with them. I went there. It can turn into documentaries when they document in terms of visuals or what. I could say something like that. Yeah. But then when it's in books, I could say what bio, something bio.
Something like that.
Yeah, remember this is not our language. You know, somewhere yeah, re tlo bolela dilo e ka tsela e leng gore it's not in the right format.
So for poet,
yeah, but I've been on television, I've been on screens.
How does it feel to see yourself on TV?
It feels like the first time I heard myself in the phones when I was making music. It's interesting because and then people get to call you, hey, we saw you on TV, blah, 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 blah. The whole village now, they know me.
Sure.
Even yesterday when I was coming from meeting on our activism and politics in terms of so I met those guys, but hey dude man, hey man, dude, hey, you still pushing man. I was on YouTube, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? It feels good, but to me, even though it feels good in that sense, but to me, I'm heading for my mission. I want to accomplish mission, or people must have a platform. Okay, I want to kick in, open the doors for other people, because on Albatwala when they make it, they get key. So now I don't want something like that, bro. That's why I'm pushing. And also, age does not have to be a matter, guys. Let me tell you, age does not have to be a barrier in your life, because what you're doing chose you. You were born with it. It's in you. You have to die being you. You cannot die being somebody. Be what you are. If you are a rapper and you are 40 years, don't listen to what the public says about you. That's who you are. That's what you are. Do it, irrespective. If ever there is how do I put it in English, retirement age, we would have been seeing but also on the Jay-Z retiring with Snoop Dogg. This is yes, some are still in parliament. I want to come to that. They're in parliament. We're going to come to that. So it doesn't have to be an age thing, because trust me, what God gave you, it's an instrument to change the world and also to fit yourself in this situation now. When you make music at the age of 50 and it's good music, so people are not supposed to listen to the music because you are 50.
No, it's good.
They will stream it.
It's good music.
It's going to give you money.
Yeah.
You have kids. You have responsibility. At that age of 50, being that the old ass rapper, as they say, you still fit in your own kids. It's about you at the end of the day. Don't listen to what people say. Somehow you can feel somehow about it that, you know, hey, I think I'm already aged and 1, 2, 3. But bro, you've got your life to lead.
Sure.
Yeah.
You have your life to live.
For sure.
I don't know who activist. How did you end up being an activist? What led you?
Yo, King.
Because every person you went to one of our happy activist we are kind of one of our to go before.
In the current situation, how it came about, I want to trace it back to when we started this interview. That some things are plans, and we were known before we even existed. Hence, I'm speaking it from the point where I will climb on the stones, and then the other kids will be on the lower part, and then I'll preach to them musically and vocally in terms of motivation and stuff at that tender age. So as I age, because I agree, when you age, you start to experience a lot of things. Somewhere you derail, you start to be off the route that you were taking as a youngster. You start to focus on other things that are mattering the most to you.
Sure.
Maybe like to provide for yourself. You don't no longer ask parents to buy you clothes. You have to provide for yourself. Or jola, you have to take your lady out. You can't be running to your moms and pops. You understand? So it stems from that point there. I would meet a lot of people as I travel looking for job. You understand? Yeah. And then some of the people out of the blue, I don't know, give out to this day I don't know, but they will say, when one day you're going to be a leader, when are you going to lead the masses?
Sure.
I didn't know what they meant, because I didn't have people to lead at that age. Forget about the tender age. That was the younger part of me. And now I'm the grown part seeking greener pastures, but I come across random people who tells me that you're going to lead the people. and I didn't know how that will come about. So I'm going all out looking for a job, and you know, I end up in Mamelodi, whereby I had to squat, living in the informal settlements. Comes the flood in 2019.
I'm about to ask you about the
Yeah. Yeah, how did I come into activism? It came like that.
Okay.
So now we have to be moved to community hall,
Yeah.
where we're going to be sheltered for whatever space of time.
Sure. You were there by that time, Joe?
Ikvesta. There are clips on YouTube where
It's on-
ENCA,
saw you guys on TV.
Newsroom Africa, and all the others, the newspapers, and the record newspapers, sometimes they was written Daily Sun. We still have the copies of those documents. So we there, we lack food, we lack clothing.
Go community hall.
Go community hall, King.
And it's taking part of government data.
In fact, we took ourselves there.
Okay.
Because if I have to be thorough and specific, honestly speaking, we were failed in the process that we ended being in that space.
Okay.
We were failed by our officials or the government, if I must say,
Sure.
generally. So now we start to have a stampede together, because it's different informal settlements. We need to have food because our groceries been eroded.
Yes.
It's been flooded. Our shacks have been destroyed by the floods. Our beds are broken. ID books. The money that we shove under the mattresses. You know what I mean, bro? So it's like that, you know. Now we squatting there. Ekvas that side, yeah, Willow Farm.
Okay.
So we there. Then we sitting and we start be like, yo, this is happening. So what are the entities still relaying? Some they donate food, some they donate clothes, and onto the there is no order. Some they steal those clothes, if I'm allowed to say that, or I should say they take without authority. Yeah. Now we start to battle for those things. Hey, woo, woo, hey, that's my mattress. Hey, that's what. Then we're fighting amongst each other now, because so you have to save your own skin. So we're battling for that. And then we realize, no, these mattresses or these sponges were like hundreds of them. As the donors came through to tell us, like, yo, we have 100 mattresses here, you can use them, and brand new. So now they're short. Some officials of whatever political parties, I don't have to name drop, but they went through without the authority of the leaders of the informal settlements, who are the leaders of those people.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
So we're starting to battle those people because they taking the mattresses that we are supposed to be sleeping on. We don't know where they are going to take them to, because those people, they don't belong in the informal settlement. They are in the formal settlements. Some they have RDP, some they're employed by the government. They have their own houses. So now we start to revolt. It's become radical situation now. Wong understand? You're robust kada well understand. So as I fought, I became one of the people in the middle. Yeah, became vocal. Not I was, but I became one of them. Because if I would say me, it would be like I was the only person, but I became one of those people.
Sure.
So I stood up, fought, battled the defense forces. The officials came through.
You put your life on the line, bro.
You know, when you're hungry, bro, you kick in the doors. You kick in the doors.
Just imagine if those defenders fired bullets.
Do you understand?
You're in the front row, bro.
But when you're stabbing, bro, you don't think of that. And it's not like you have lost your mind. You become tired. Even if I can be younger to you and then bully you, one day you go, or I can be older to you, you become the younger one, and then I bully you. Tomorrow you're going to evolve, bro. You're going to come up with the defense mechanism.
Sure.
So by uttering or being vocal, I wasn't attacking them. I was making them realize, or I'm in pain. I'm sleeping on the floor. Do you understand? Why are you taking what should be mine? You have a bed and then you battling to have a sponge. Where are you taking this? Where are you taking the sponge? You have a salary, there's food donated, you take in the polony. What must I eat?
Why?
And you have a salary to buy the same polony. So it became that kind of a situation whereby we fought, and then at the end of the day we started fighting amongst each other because the food, some of the donors started, we started running short of food, and then we started fighting amongst each other because of there was a small number of those provision. And then I came up with the idea that, guys, come on, why should we be fighting amongst each other? Because this thing affects all of us.
Sure.
Can we come up with a new program than to always be here waiting for handouts? Let's go out to look for a land. Let's go out to look for a land and then avoid this thing out to fight amongst each other. Let's go all out there, get the land, and then everyone will have their own space and then their own grocery. And if the donors still donate, they will come to where we are. We will be based by that time. You know what I mean? Not to have these things here and then stolen. Next thing we fight amongst each other and then we put our lives on the line. Some people will hate us. Remember, in the ecosystem, the hyenas, they don't hunt. When you get something, they just come and grab and go.
They just come and take.
So that was the situation. That's how the situation was like.
Sure.
So, and then we started to meet a lot of politicians and political parties. We started to move with them, writing emails to them, writing to departments of government, and then seeking for help. And then that's when we started this rolling out this thing, Mamelodi flood victims, rolling out the relocation program, even though we had stumbling blocks whereby the communities started to fight with us and all that, and then to say, why do they have to be relocated while we here in the formal settlements, our kids have been waiting for the C forms to get RDPs, and we were like, no, this is the matter of a disaster, so it's an emergency thing. So so when these two communities started battling, then we had to sit down together one time and be like, yo guys, this is not about who came first and all that. Let's put the lives of those people first. You know what I mean? And then now you are fighting us on the matter that it does not even involve us. You should be facing the government as much as we're taking all the energy to face them to help us. You had all the time to face them in terms of those C forms, but you're not doing anything. So now that we are standing up for ourselves, you're hijacking our program. And for the fact that some of us come from Limpopo or wherever by in the country, you don't have to tell us that they're and that we're coming to take your land and all that. Remember, it's South Africa, it's our land generally. Rather, we come sit down and then come up with a plan as to, okay, after this, what can we do to help those who are formed since 1994. So the political activism part of me came in that sense, because now I regard myself as just an activist, not specifically a politician, but someone who's active in matters that affect around where I'm based at that particular time. Because even if now I can go and stay in Kunu or wherever by in Eastern Cape, I'll still push for the services, because that's who I am. I push for the people to have the better points of life, you understand? Yeah, so that's how it came about, yeah. Bro, that's
yes, by default what the Mara Joel or we. Sure, Joel. So question in how do you feel about government here in South Africa? The party, because now believe or engage party one, because now party zeding and then both participate more party one. Nirtla grant to Marunogi different parties, what about the ideologies about now?
That's a plan, but if that party gets captured, we all did. That's why you see all these parties. Sure. So, but then to answer your question, how do I feel about my government, and then in terms of what, like in terms of
the current South Africa
situation before, okay,
for poor people, specifically for poor people,
it's failing us.
Sure.
That does not despite the fact that somewhere they did this and that.
They did, yeah.
They did the best for others, but it's not yet enough. Sure. I can't say it's enough. It's not yet enough. I can't say it's a little bit better. Not yet enough. understand?
Sure.
Because, King, if now we are subjected to Rubato, still stemming on the issue of land because the it's mixed with the relocation issue. If now we're having people
It's true.
and then national whatever natural disaster,
It's true.
what a huge wind one day blowing, taking all the sheikhs throwing it over from the top of the mountain. Someone is in the river, comes a heavy rain. Do you understand? And there's no safety. Look at the situation now. Whatever in terms of water supply, stopper and all that.
Sure.
Whereby we had load shedding, now they put it into load reduction. We still have limit to access of things. Their basic needs. If now you're going to talk about there must be a limitation of water, we open taps, blah blah blah, such areas that demand of water. Some people don't have money to bore holes.
Yeah, fair.
And then looking around Mamelodi, as we say now, they are I don't know, they are rivers or what? I don't know if it's just furrows and meanders of sewage.
Because
Can't drink that kind of water. Can't drink from such places. Do you understand?
Spring water, like so.
Spring water,
spring water.
Most spring waters are clean in the rurals where I come from.
Yeah, sure.
They are very clean. We drink them.
We only have one here.
You get it? That is the purest water ever.
Joe.
You know, it's like that.
Man.
You know, like you say in Sela Samala behind Samka or between Samka and Bani village, there is a flow of water that side and another spring there, a well to fetch water. Yeah, he's correct. I know that place. I used to pass by there because it's not far from where I used to before the floods.
Yeah.
You know, I still stand that they're failing us, King. High unemployment, people are living off 350s. What does that do?
It doesn't do nothing. It doesn't do much, yo.
Bruh, they're failing us on so many levels. So many levels. Health departments. If you go to the hospital now, a lot of people there don't even document it. The very same documented people are dying in the queue. You know, there is, bruh. There is bunch of facts, reasons, issues that I can raise to prove that really we are being failed. We are being failed. Tax is high, petrol hiking. You know, the transport department not be providing enough locomotives. Police service, sometimes you call, no enough cars to come to the spot. Ambulance is not here, it went to Kazangulu to deliver someone. That. So now to me, they're failing us. Even though they're trying, yes, they're failing us because of, even when we check the defense force part, merged with the Home Affairs Department in terms of border control. There is no enough good competent service provided on those parts because everyone just comes through. Everyone just comes through. They do whatever they want to do.
And if you're not documented, why
bruh, you can just do as you please. Hence you see now we're having kids dying in school, buying whatever products. We don't know how did that come about. And those products, they're not coming from like registered companies, most of them.
I don't believe so.
They don't come from there. If you look for their companies, they're not there. You cannot find any industry there whereby there is a branding of the same product that the kids are consuming. But then if you're looking for a certain brand, it's vastly used in South Africa. You get to it from toiletries, food consumption, clothing, and home, whatever, electronics. They have companies whereby if your product is not in good shape from the point of pages, you can still return it. But with those guys, who are you going to confront? See, in the news now they're talking about the brand, the most bought brand, soft drink, Coke, if I may say, though we were giving them a free airing. So they faking the products.
Sure, we seen in you.
You consume it, you die. Now we're not going to look at them. We look like, what's happening with Coke? What does our government do? Such people don't even pay tax.
Yeah.
Money does not regulate.
No.
Taking the money outside the country.
I think dollar
out of the country. Yes. Bro, the government is failing dismally, like way seriously. So now we still have those people stuck there. But they have to be relocated. Do you understand?
And we're talking about South Africans by the time.
Documented South Africans. Do you understand? The squatter camps that are flooded with people by long they're not even from here. I'm not saying we shouldn't have a multiracial, tribal society.
Sure.
Let's do it properly. Why are we supposed to be documented and somebody's not documented? Why when we have to go visit their places and then we have to be showing off our visas and documentations, but when they come to our side it's something else. I love them. I love them. I have friends, close friends from outside the country, and then, but let's be honest. Why put a law? Why have the constitution of the republic, but then we cannot put to action what we utter? Let's action speaks louder than words.
Sure.
Let's work on the boundaries. Let's work on the issue of health departments and policing, defense force, and all that. So many cars have been stopped at the borderlines, stolen, counterfeit cigarettes, whole lot of things, bro.
Sure.
We are subjected to a whole lot of things. Now what we need is just
not to cut you, ne? When if you was a president of South Africa, what would you do?
Bro, I'll follow the constitution. That is simple.
The law. Yeah.
You don't have to go out telling people we are going to do this. And you already drawn the law.
Yeah.
There's already instruction. There's a menu. Hey, all you have to do get in the kitchen, start cooking.
Sure.
That's it. You don't tell us no, we are going to cook. We have a menu.
So the president is the easiest job ever, because we've got everything you have to do by the law.
There is. There is instruments everywhere. We have ministers, those are instruments. They're assets of the state. We have councillors. Are they competent? Yes, but then there is no evidence.
Sure.
That's why we see a lot of things happening. Because when they go to the media, yes, they're going to say, yeah, we are busy on the ground. That's what I'm saying, yes, confidently. But when we go to heaven to prove,
sure, documents, where?
What is happening? You said you moved people from where?
And if it's not documented that it didn't happen, because some of them videos of the flood victim, go and see.
We are putting people's lives in danger. Look what happened there in Main Lane. Recently, famous one of the restaurants. I won't name drop.
Sure.
I hate to advertise people who are not gonna pay us on this podcast. You know. But then when for that I could say it was for PR or whatever I could say.
Sure.
When a certain part of the department went there to check for how does the operation work like, or how is it like in those working spaces, to check if people are documented, to check if people are following the procedures in terms of health and other things. only to get there and discover Orobato. They were hiding in a ceiling. The manager got the tip of the department of 123 is coming to raid, to check, you know, and then they hiding those people on the top roof. They fell from those parts to the floor.
Inspector Dilty.
Undocumented. Why not just, you've been working, why didn't you save money to get yourself documented? You see, they don't have that. But we can still blame them, like, why didn't you save? How much did they get?
Yeah.
They exploited most of them.
That's why.
So I'm not being that person who's going to just put blame and then never research and go thorough into things. I know some of them are being exploited. Hence I come back to say, okay, you've been working, why didn't you save? So I'm speaking to the public like this. But those who don't have answers, I think I can speculate. What if they're not getting paid enough?
They don't, and it's a big maybe.
Perhaps.
That they don't get enough.
Perhaps, my leader. So it's like that. That's how myself I got to be in this statement. But I advocate for community. So I understand it was not intentional, and I believe it was God's plan. Like I told you, not people were just stopping me in the street to just tell me some. You know what I'm like? Yo, dude, hey, when are you going to be a leader? Hey, 1, 2, 3. Maybe they hear from how I speak,
and
because
how you move.
I always raise this kind of issues when I'm with people. Like, yo, we are suffering and 1, 2, 3. This is challenges. 1, 2. Now, all I want is just to have peace in this world. Let's do things according to the book. Let's follow the manual.
Sure.
If I say cook with an onion, don't put a tomato.
And there is a manual in there.
So why don't we follow the constitution? If now we're going to talk about, or no, the borders were imposed by white people and all that, even though we already have tribes and regions of those tribes. We have Banubako, Mama, Babakian, we have people about Sekhukhune and other parts of Limpopo. Northern Sotho. I can speak of KZN as well, Natal. Don't understand? KwaZulu. Natal come from the whites, I could say maybe Mara KwaZulu. Don't understand? We have you know, Basotho, Sotho and all that. So we have always had boundaries, my king.
Sure.
We didn't have to just go into someone's territory without even speaking to them. But now people, they just come in and out, in and out. So if now we're going to blame everything on the settlers, later now we need to check ourselves.
Sure.
Like, what are we doing? Okay, if now we're going to talk about the boundaries imposed by white people, why are we having those regions? Why are we having names of places? We're marking the place.
We mark the place.
But this is Tshwane. Why don't it just be South Africa then?
Sure.
Why not Polokwane? Well, it's territorial. Everywhere is territorial. It's not a human thing. It's just a natural thinking. Sure. There are certain trees that you find at a certain area.
You won't find them
if you plant them in a certain area, they die.
Sure.
You cannot take a crocodile, put it in an ocean. It's going to die. That's not its habitat. You cannot take a shark and put it in a river. There's territory everywhere. There is a limit. There is a mark. Let's not come up with this thing here or confuse the whole situation. The situation is everything is messed up. How do we fix things?
Sure.
How do we put order into things? I understand. There must be law and order everywhere. Even in your household, there is a big house with many bedrooms. No one just barge in your room.
In your room, sure.
And take it from that point. I understand. So now, my king, I'm dead. I'm a musician. I'm an activist. I've worked with people called Social Kube. But already the NPOs, the NGOs, they're helping people donate the pads, but donate the bijo, you know, I'm working with a lot of people who understand that. Yeah.
Currently, what are you working on?
I'm working on all those things that I spoke about, but I just create space for each of them. One of this a lady from Koso Shamkube Mbumelelo, wa Tusana organization. She's the one who push on this thing at donations.
Sure.
Yeah. And then I have a group here, the poets, Lamagia poetry, pushed by Safara, and then the understand. So it's a lot. Now we're venturing also into events, hosting events, and then when we get there, people pay a little amount to come in so that we can have that 12.5 seated behind our doors, understand? So that we can have something, understand? So for us to travel and everything, sometimes it's very difficult. But if people continue to support us, stream our music, view our videos, that's how it's gonna work. And you know, we find people having data, some they might not even have to support you. Let's just change that kind of behavior, that kind of nature. Let's support each
just
other.
press. Just press.
Even if you can watch it for 1 hour and then you comment, it sucks, it's okay.
It's fine.
You contributed something. Please, let's do that. Let's support this podcast, guys. Especially from around Mamelodi Charity Begins at Home. Watch this guy, and then there are a lot of people who are going to come in. We are not only specifically focused on music, it's just the name. We're talking about a lot of things because
just the name.
We're talking about a lot of things because in the same piano song, in the same hip-hop song, you can get subjects to or someone is making a song about someone who's struggling in the street and all that. Don't expect or no, we're always going to drop something about music only. There are a lot of things that we are saying in music.
Facts.
Yeah, so thanks a lot, fellas.
So Braga, any shout outs?
You saying? Oh, shout outs. Hey, we've been talking, King. Sending shouts out from the start.
From everybody,
shout outs to you to begin with. Thank you for the opportunity. Shout outs to my fans out there. Keep on supporting me. Shout outs to my companions out there. I cannot name drop because it's a lot of them. It might take even an hour, more than the podcast is. So, and most importantly, shouts out to the man upstairs. Thank you, God, for the opportunity to exist in this universe.
That's right. And I appreciate that. I appreciate you a lot. This podcast was not musically only, was too much educational. Too much educational. Shout out to Joedy G.
Yo, not forgetting, so sorry man. I got my brother here, Bratom.
Sure.
Yeah, he came along with me. He's one of the leaders, guys, of the Mamelodi Flood victims.
Sure, guys.
Yeah.
Sure. Bratom.
Hola.
Sure.
Sure.
No wrong. Are we? No wrong.
Sure.